This is Braves Live, presented by your local Toyota dealer. Energy in the air with Ronald Acuna Jr. back in the Braves lineup for the first time since July 10th of 2021. Right on time, given the opportunity to pick up our first series win of the season. And for those who may have somehow forgotten just how impactful this man was, let's take a Toyota inside look at his NL rankings prior to his injury. Top of the league in OPS, big flies, and runs scored, second in steals, and those kind of chart-topping numbers are exactly what his teammates are hyped to return.
Acuna unloads. Tape measure home run. Number 22 for Ronald. He does the shimmy at third, and the Braves, you're right, Tom, got one of them back. Ronaldus Magnus. We've seen him hot, Tommy. I just don't remember a stretch where he's been this on everything. He jumps on the first pitch, drives that toward Acuna, who leaps and can't come up with it. He lands awkwardly on the warning track. Ronald Acuna Jr. weeping as he gets hurt in the 5th inning in Miami today. Ronald Acuna Jr. began his minor league rehab as he comes back from knee surgery.
The energy he brings, obviously the talent speaks for itself. When the game starts, just seeing what he's going to do when he gets his first at-bat. So I think the energy is going to be back, and you know, him setting the tone for the lineup is going to be huge.
High fly ball, center field deep, at the track, at the wall, it's gone!
He's one of the most special talents in the game. You can feed off his energy when he's playing. You don't realize how special he is until you kind of go through a stretch where he's not with you.
Line toward right, and Acuna got there! We should be tipping our cap, Ronald. That was something.
He has all the tools to be a dominant force in the game at any moment. So he's the type of player, he's going to do something, offensively, defensively, base stealing, base running, to turn the tide in that game.
Acuna comes up cleanly. Alonso chugging for third. The throw, he's going to get him. What a throw and tag.
I mean, especially seeing what he's went through this winter, and obviously how dedicated he's been to his rehab, and you look at him and how great he looks, and I know he feels great and how strong he is, and I think he's probably nobody more excited about getting out there than Ronald himself.
Here it is. It's lifted toward right field. Polanco going back. He's going to turn. That ball is gone. Opposite field, grand slam for Ronald Acuna Jr.
Bueno, es que tiene que estar, la mente tiene que estar bien fuerte, porque si te pone un poquito débil no creo que vuelva hasta 100%. Yo, por ejemplo, soy el tipo de persona, el tipo de pelotero que yo siempre confío en mí. No, a mí no me importa quién seas tú, ¿me entiendes? Por decirlo así, yo siempre confío en mí. Yo sé que voy a volver al 100 y por eso estoy trabajando duro.
I'm back. Simply put, by the one and only Ronald Acuna Jr. Matt Olson warming up ahead of tonight's first pitch. We got game 3 between the Cubs and Bravos here at Truist Park going down. We'll take you right off the first pitch on the other side with lineups and more next. Braves Live is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. Braves have split the series with the Cubs 1 apiece, looking to get a win in this rubber match. As we look at the Chicago batting order, you see there in the 8-hole Patrick Wisdom, the guy who really brought the backbreaker in the 10th inning, that 2-run shot, Nick, that wound up being the difference in last night's loss.
Yeah, he's a solid player, and he last year dropped 28 homers in 106 games, so you know he's got power. When you put the ball down the middle, especially fastball-wise, he has power to all fields. Got out to a little bit of a slow start, but having a guy with that type of power in the 8th spot definitely lengthens the lineup.
And we look at the Braves side of things. It's a beautiful thing to see Ronald Acuna Jr. up top there, fellas.
Needs to get the average up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, right? Like we were hoping for, what we say, like 340 or so. Is that feels like an appropriate sort of just toss out there, I guess, Peter. Regardless, though, the man has hustled his way back from that injury that occurred on July 10th. It's been a long process, but he's back and he's ready to get things cracked.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does first pitch.
I think there's a lot of excitement around the ballpark.
You know he's going to be on the attack, right? You know he's going to be excited about it. What's he going to do against Drew Smyly? Is Drew Smyly going to throw him first pitch off speed?
Absolutely. I'd like to
over-under
on that.
In last year, He had 6 first pitch home runs. He had 4 leadoff home runs. It would be a complete storybook kind of start to this recovery if he does go deep.
You know he's absolutely going up there with a plan.
He's going to try to.
There's no question in my mind that his one plan is to see whatever pitch. I mean, Smiley's, he's not going to overpower you, so the theme's going to be stay back, I'm pretty sure. But that first pitch curveball, if he tries to dump a first pitch curveball in there, do not be surprised if that gets deposited to right center.
I'm so here for Asuvi just on the first pitch of the game. Regardless, though, Quadras has kept, Nick, Travis d'Arnaud has sort of kept the bottom of that order moving for the Braves, and it's been a large part of that production that we've seen lately.
And I think we focus so much on Ozzie with this move with Acuna coming back that Ozzie's going to be benefit the most from it. I think he is going to. No doubt about that. But what this does is allow d'Arnaud to slide down a spot. He's swinging the bat really well. Now, in that 6th spot, you have somebody who's hot, right? They've been filling that 6th spot with Alex Dickerson, Arcia, Duvall, who's been struggling, and then you slide Duvall back. But having d'Arnaud be able to hit 6th behind Ozzie, I think, is a huge boost to this lineup depth-wise.
You hear them say it lengthens the lineup because it does exactly that. And then you hear Chip talk about the bottom feeding the top, and that's exactly what we're going to see.
I imagine it'll be just excitement all around, regardless of what goes down on that first pitch, because we're just excited to see it on the back. Chip Caray, Jeff Francoeur, Kelly Crawler on the car, and we will continue to get you right for first pitch on the other side here. We're getting you right for the rubber match here between the Chicago Cubs and the Atlanta Braves here at Truist Park. Braves Live taking you right up to first pitch. Trevor Scales, Nick Green, Peter Moreland here with you. Fellas, let's go ahead and give the people what they want. Your 4 keys to the game.
Well, to me, it's you got to be ready to hit first pitch. And Drew Smyly's the guy that's going to pound the strike zone, 81% first pitch strikes. He mixes it really well with this cutter, curveball, and fastball, so you can't guess which one he's going to throw. But be ready to hit. The Braves, Peter, 391 on first pitches this season.
That's good news for us,
That's good news.
with Drew Smyly on the mound. My 4th key, I don't like to predict the future, but I'm going to. Tomorrow's headline is going to be Wright shines in Braves' first series win. Okay, Kyle Wright's going to dominate like he has done all season, and we're going to walk away with our first series win.
We could certainly use that. It's been long overdue, it feels like. And Peter, I just got to call you out on something. I know you love to predict the future. What are you talking about? You don't like doing so?
I don't like it when I'm wrong.
Oh, of course.
If I continue to be right, it's great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hindsight is 20/20. It's a beautiful thing. In any case, we appreciate you joining us here on Braves Live. The rubber match between the Chicago Cubs and Atlanta Braves coming at you here on the other side. I promise you this time. Dansby Swanson getting ready to get things going here at Truist Park. Chip Caray, Jeff Francoeur, Kelly Crawler on the call. Braves looking for their first series.
They're really going to be there on the outside of this break.
I promise you. I would not lie to you. I would not lie to you, Nick Green. Thanks for joining us, folks. Enjoy some Braves baseball.
Of Atlanta, Valley Sports South and Valley Sports Southeast, the heart of the fan.
He's back. How far up the bleachers is that going? That ball was hammered. And he does it again. Ronaldus Magnus.
The power by Ronald. Wow.
It's a no-doubter. Way up into the seats for Acuna. That ball's got to be flat on one side, maybe on both. And he didn't get it. Have yourself a night, kid. Wow. Do it all, Ronald. Listen to this crowd.
That ball is absolutely hammered.
Welcome back, Ronald. Just 9 short months after tearing his right ACL, Ronald Acuna Jr. has returned. The Braves All-Star sits atop the Atlanta lineup and starts in right field. Next on Bally Sports. Braves baseball from Atlanta, Georgia. Indeed, Ronald Acuna Jr. is back. It's brought to you by Truist. This is a night we've been waiting for since last July. One of the great stars, one of the great faces of Major League Baseball is back and leading off for the Braves tonight. Hi again, everybody. Chip and Jeff.
Wow, it's great to see Ronald Acuna Jr. back in the lineup, partner, and frankly, the Braves offense needs him. They've struggled to score runs. Maybe Ronald can jumpstart the Braves, get them going, and if he plays like he did last year, we're going to have a whole lot of fun.
I remember that Saturday last July when we looked at each other and we thought the worst when he went down with that injury. Healthy, he's back, what, 9 months or so, 10 months, it's incredible. More than anything, if you look at what he did last season, he was on his way to a possible MVP season last year in 2021. The exit velocity, his max exit velocity. You can go on and on as we show you the graphics, but I think more than anything, he is a spark this team needs right now. They need a guy at the top of the lineup that can move Ozzie down, let him be in a run producing, and just get him back. He's one of the most electrifying players in all of baseball, and this is kind of what the Braves need. There might have been a little World Series hangover, but look at all that. Above 97 percentile in all those categories in MLB. It's going to be fun to watch him tonight, and I think more than anything is they knew they needed him back sooner than later. I'm glad he's back.
And he's facing his former teammate, Drew Smyly, who's on the mound for the Cubs against Kyle Wright, who's off to a fantastic start as well. Ronald is back. Kyle Wright is back. Hey, maybe the Braves will be back. A chance to win this series against the Cubs. Lineups and first pitch from Truist Park are coming right up. Well, Ronald Acuna Jr. is not the only young star on display tonight. How about the start to the season for Kyle Wright? 2-0 with a 1.06 ERA, an astounding 26-2 strikeout to walk rate. He has not given up a barreled batted ball yet this year. That's how dominant Kyle Wright has been, Jeff, and he takes aim at the Cubs with a chance to win the series tonight.
Yeah, I think one of the big things you look at it, two things. His curveball percentage last season, 14%. This year, 34, and over 6 walks per 9 innings last year, just over 1.1 this year. Incredible.
And he's facing a Cubs lineup that was very tough last night. They were awfully tough to strike out. They outlasted the Braves in 10 innings, and David Ross with a couple of changes. We'll get our first look at Alfonso Rivas at first base. Patrick Wisdom hit the big homer in extra innings last night. And, of course, Seiya Suzuki in right field. He and Ian Happ saw a combined 64 pitches against the Braves last night. 64. So let's see if Kyle can get ahead, get him out early, and pitch deep into this game tonight. 11 strikeouts last time out. A career high for Kyle Wright in that win against the Marlins. He's facing the Cubs for the second time in his career tonight. There's a buzz in the ballpark. Beautiful night. Well, I bet the walk-up crowd was big when the Braves announced that Ronald was back.
Exactly.
And Wright ready. Here we go. And the first pitch is whacked into right field. A base hit. So Ortega's second hit of this series, a leadoff hit. We're underway. What are your 4 keys for Game 3?
Well, look, if the Braves have a chance to win a series, have not won a series yet, you got the right guy on the mound tonight to get you that series win. And welcome back, Ronald. We've been waiting a long time. Felt like we were going to have to wait till May, but he's so young and healthy, doesn't surprise me that he's back and a spark plug for this offense.
And the Braves need it. They're 8-11, 5.5 games off the lead in the East. And trying to take care of the Cubs and win 2 out of 3 as Seiya Suzuki, the Chicago right fielder, digs in. And Wright, with that increased velocity, gets ahead with strike 1. What we noticed about Kyle in the last couple of games, Jeff, attack. He was on attack all night.
And I love it. Gives up a first pitch fastball. What does he come back with, Chip? Fastball right down the middle.
Short lead at first for Ortega. The pitch is a little tapper back to the mound, and there'll be one play, and that advances the runner with 1 out.
Yeah, smart move. It could have been real easy to throw that ball to second, try to get it, and you might have made a mess. The way Kyle's been throwing, get the out.
Ian Happ is a switch hitter. He's had a good series, a couple of hits, including a home run.
Bonus are 3 for 24 off Kyle Wright's curveball this year, and for no damage, all singles.
Happ batting left-handed against the right-handed Kyle Wright, and that's been the devastating pitch. Did you know left-handed hitters have 1 hit against Kyle Wright this year? 1.
Doesn't surprise me.
They're 1 for 26. That curveball biting sharply here in this first inning of play. 0-1 for Ian Happ. 11 RBIs for him. And out of play foul.
There's that curveball, 2 in a row. I think the big thing too is just look at Kyle's face right now when you see him out there. He's in control. He looks like a guy that knows what he's doing. I felt at times last year and the year before you'd see almost that deer in the headlights look sometime out there, and you don't see that anymore.
Fourth start for Kyle, 17 innings, 2 earned runs. So far this year. Let's see if he can finish off Happ. He did. Blew him right away. So after the leadoff hit and ground out, Happ strikes out, 2 away.
After 2 curveballs, you talk about a tough pitch to lay off. That pitch comes out right where that curveball does up in the zone, except it stays up there at 98. You can see the ball was pretty much already in d'Arnaud's glove before he swung.
So Wilson Contreras bats. He's got a couple of hits. There's a Contreras family reunion today. William was called up from Gwinnett. We'll see if the Braves catching Contreras sees action tonight, as that's fouled away. No balls and a strike. Kelly has more on the roster move today, but William had a nice run going down at AAA, so we'll see some action on the upcoming road trip, which starts in Texas tomorrow night. No balls and a strike for the Cubs cleanup man, Wilson Contreras.
You talk about going through the meat of the order so far in 3 starts, 4, 5, 6 hitters against Kyle so far this season, 0 for 19. He's done a good job of keeping the big boppers off.
No real shift for Contreras. Duvall shaded around slightly toward Acuna in center field. The pitch is over but low. 2 balls and a strike. It's a real test against David Ross's club. Believe it or not, the Chicago Cubs as a team have the highest batting average in the major leagues entering play tonight. They're also #1 in on-base percentage. This group does not strike out a lot. And boy, we saw a ton of foul balls last night to prolong at bats. See how it unfolds tonight. As that backed up too far, 3-1 the count. So some uncharted territory for Kyle. He hasn't had many 3-ball counts. He's only walked 2 hitters in his 17 2/3 innings of work so far. Jonathan Villar waits on deck with 2 outs. And here it is. That's up and away. Contreras takes the walk. There's 2 aboard with 2 down.
Didn't miss by much on that pitch, but with the base open, at this point of the game, you don't necessarily have to give in.
Villar, a switch hitter, a .304 lifetime hitter against the Braves. That's why he's in the lineup tonight. 1 for 2 is he against Kyle Wright, who's got some traffic with 2 outs. Strike 1. Little breeze blowing toward the chop house in right on a 74-degree night. Get some warm weather down in Texas tomorrow, then up in New York, mid to upper 50s. At Citi Field.
Can't wait to see the sweaters you bust out.
1-1 pitch is in for a strike. It's 1-2. Yeah, Dr. No-How Galima loaned me a couple for the road trip. Extra medium. Right, a strike away from bringing up Ronald Acuna Jr.
And that's where throwing strikes has come into play for him. He's actually had to kind of work this inning, but still only 14 pitches. It's not like he's at 28.
Right. Swing and a miss. That ball sunk out of sight. Good start for Kyle Wright. Braves country, we've waited for this since July. Acuna leads off in the bottom of the first next.
It's a no-doubter. Way up into the seats for Acuna. Acuna belly flops to third. He's safe. That ball is belted. That ball is way out of here.
Well, the kid is back after a remarkable rehab performance at Gwinnett. For the first time since mid-July last year, Ronald Acuna Jr. is back atop the Toyota starting lineup. Everybody slots down just a bit. Ozzie Albies goes to the 5th. Darno 6th. Duvall Demerit and Dansby Swanson will take aim at their former teammate Drew Smyly, who's now pitching for the Cubs. And Jeff, Drew's off to a pretty good start.
Should be no surprise here for this Braves offense. Obviously played behind Drew. You can see 1-1 with a 2-4-5. Loves to get ahead with that first. You see his first pitch strike rate. And so far in 3 games, Chip, only 2 home runs, where last year allowed 9 in the first 4 games. You think he swings at the first pitch?
If it's close.
Yeah.
And listen to the crowd in Atlanta welcome Ronald back. As Acuna said, the first days after the injury, you wonder if you're ever going to make it back. But all that hard work pays off, and 9 months later, here we go. And he takes inside, ball 1. .24 homers, 52 RBIs for Ronald at the time of his injury. And that one sharply hit to third. Wisdom's got it. Acuna down the line in good shape, but he rolls out to start the game, 1 man down.
Well, at least he got that out of the way. So much anticipation. Look, as many big games he's played in the butterflies, I guarantee he just felt there. Like you said, all the 10 months of the hard work was going through his mind, I promise.
Matt Olson, the batter. And Smyly misses downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Smyly wants you to put the ball in play. Not a big strikeout guy. He's had pretty good control. And we're told that curveball has really been sharpened up in his early days with the Cubs. He had hung an awful lot early for the Braves, but then he got on a terrific roll. In rotation for Atlanta.
There's that slow curveball that you'll see him throw off that cutter.
Smyly had a run where he went 9-1 in 10 decisions on his way to 11 wins for the Braves last year. And Olson trying to slow him down here in the bottom of the first inning. And another swing and a miss. Contreras will throw him out. Though slow, slower, slowest from Drew Smyly.
Yeah.
And Austin Riley's coming up. Riley 1 for 8 in the set. High fly ball on the first pitch. Deep left. Happ going back. Warning track. Wall, it's gone. Braves a mile high and about 10 rows up. 1-0 Atlanta. Smiley serves up a solo homer.
Well, you know, 81% first pitch strike rate. You know, 4 out of 5 are somewhere over the plate. And Austin Riley got ready for that pitch and did not miss it. I don't know if he's hit as high and as far as that one run.
And that's what the hitters have told us. The new baseball, it seems to soar very quickly and then just die at the apex.
Yeah, that one didn't die.
No, not until it got over the fence and the Braves score first. 5th homer for Austin Riley. So Kyle Wright has a lead. Here's Marcell Ozuna, the Braves cleanup man, also 1 for 8 in the series. And a little squibber toward Rivas at first. And that will retire the side. Austin Riley, dad power. He's got a bunch of extra base hits since Eason was born. This one a no-doubter. Center cut, and he crushed it. Atlanta with another solo home run after 1 inning in Ronald Acuna's return. 1-0 at Truist Park. Austin Riley's homer gives the Braves a lead after 1. To the second we go, and Alfonso Rivas is leading off for the Cubs. He's 6 for 12 at the plate to start the season. He and Frank Schwindel have a nice little platoon working over at first for the Cubbies. Rivas a homer, 6 RBIs. Our first look at Alfonso. Braves play him straight up on the infield, slightly toward left in the outfield. The pitch. Ball 2. Three balls and a strike for Rivas. And Wright walks in. 2 walks for Kyle. He had 2 all year before tonight's game.
Yeah, the first one tonight, pitching very carefully to Contreras with the base open. That one, not able to find the zone.
Here's Jason Hayward, the former Brave. 1 for 3 in the series, 1 for 2 against Kyle Wright. Not as crisp to start this second inning. One ball, no strikes. And that danced off the plate. Ball 2. Ballpark filling up just past 7:30 Eastern time. Braves lead on a Riley homer. Wright has some second inning trouble. The pitch right there to Jason. And now 2-1. At this stage, Jason, I guess you could say, is a platoon player. Doesn't play much against the lefties. Corner guy for a lot of years, plays center for the Cubs now. 2-1 is up and away. Ball 3. This is what the Cubs do. They make you work.
Yeah, we talked about it a little last night. Still an elite defender, but not much damage on the plate like he used to. Doesn't hit for as much power. Still a good eye.
Back-to-back walks. 2 on, nobody out. And Patrick Wisdom is coming out. So is Travis d'Arnaud. What are you seeing here from Kyle?
I don't know. It's a little weird because that first inning he was really good. Like I said, that walk to Contreras was more of a situation where this inning, for the most part, we've seen him miss high and away a lot arm side. Besides that one pitch he pulled to Hayward.
So a dangerous hitter in Patrick Wisdom.
Maybe getting a right-handed hitter back in there will help him lock it in.
Wisdom, a no-doubter 2-run homer last night. He scored 12 runs in his last 11 games for Chicago. Double play ball would be nice. Wisdom, another patient hitter. More on that after the first from right. And a curveball of beauty. Wisdom saw 30 pitches.
A lot of pitches thrown last night.
So Suzuki, Happ, and Wisdom, those three players saw 94 pitches in the game. That'll wear you down. Braves used 8 pitchers last night in a 10-inning game. And he got the corner call there. It's 0-2. Nico Hoerner is the Cubs on deck man. And Wisdom way behind in the count. This is where, when pitcher doesn't have his command, can he self-correct?
Yeah, and you know, that thing he's missing up kind of. See him miss down where he gets some ground balls.
Struck him out with a breaking ball. Wisdom didn't expect that. Third strikeout.
Yeah, good job getting back in it. That was a really nice pitch.
Well, look at how tight that spin was.
Yep, I told you it's a lot like Charlie Morton.
So there's the first out. You're a double play ball away from escaping the inning with the lead. Nico Hoerner, though, a .316 hitter. That's been his best pitch, so keep throwing it until they show they can hit it. Kyle's thrown strike 1 to 7 of the first 9 Cub hitters. 2 on, 1 out.
You can tell. I don't know with the 2 lefties if he was trying to do too much, make the ball move. But since the righties have come back up, he really has got locked back in on the strike zone.
2 straight curveballs. What's he come up with here? Let's see. Breaking ball, bouncing ball, Riley. He's going to go to second on the 1. Ball bobbled, and they get the out. Clean slide by Jason Hayward. Riley charged, got Jason Hayward on the force play. Hoerner at first. Ortega hits with first and third 2 out.
Yeah, Riley kind of had a decision to make there. He could have maybe waited and just gone to third and got the force out. But I think you could tell he tried to charge that ball. Felt like that was his best chance to field it. Good play.
So here's Ortega. He jumped all over the first pitch of the game and singled into right field. Former Brave, who's been thriving out of the leadoff spot for the Cubs. There's the Braves alignment. Cano's got to be on his toes with a runner at third here and 2 outs. And a little chopper pulled foul, strike 1. There have been a whole bunch of memorable home runs in the history of the Braves franchise, but Ortega's grand slam against the Dodgers a couple of years ago was one of them.
Remember that, 19.
Just missed the corner with that breaking ball. Even count.
I think I remember that day too, because that was when the alumni home run derby was, when BJ got his revenge on me.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Thought you'd erase that from the memory banks. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think you ran out of gas in that home run derby. If I recall, you had like 40 seconds left. You needed 1 more and just.
They miscounted.
Brian, if you're listening.
But I don't remember.
We will certainly hear your point of view. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, they got a pickoff. Horner broke. Bad throw. Now you got to get the run down. And they tag him out, but the run's going to score. So the 1 bad throw allowed Rivas to come home. And on a pickoff play, it ends the inning, but the Cubs tie the game 1 apiece.
Last inning ended. Kyle Wright with a good pickoff move. You see Horner start to go. Olson's throw is a little bit high right there and taking him the other way. It would have been bang bang if Dansby came home. I think a throw a little bit lower he can go. Also in that aspect right there, Austin Riley's playing farther off for the shift, so it allowed the base runner to slowly move down and you couldn't really do anything about it.
So the Cubs steal a run without benefit of a hit in the 2nd inning. We're tied 1 apiece. And Ozzie Albies leads off the 2nd. He's batting 5th for the Braves tonight. This one on the ground toward Wisdom. He'll make that play for out number 1. I think that's what we were wondering. How would the Braves lineup look now that Acuna's first? Well, tonight, here's your first look.
Well, and Snit was telling me the other day, I would have loved if Eddie Rosario was batting 5th to be able to slide Ozzie behind him. But now, with him out for a while, Ozzie's that logical choice to go right behind Marcel.
Tip of the cap from d'Arnaud to his former battery mate, Drew Smyly. d'Arnaud, among catchers with 50 or more plate appearances, has the highest batting average at .308. He's got a couple of hits in the series, including an RBI. Austin Riley's homer, the Braves run. It was a solo shot. And that above the tomahawk, 1 ball, no strikes. That's fouled at 3rd. Would you describe Drew Smyly's fastball as sneaky quick? And I ask that because, as you said earlier, his off-speed stuff can vary in speed, and he has that slower than slow curveball.
Well, that's the pitch you worry about when you're facing him, not the fastball, but that slow curveball off the cutter.
That's hit to short. Tricky hop. Horner fields and fires, 2 out.
But you still have to respect, you know, that he's got 92, 93 in the tank.
And he's getting the ball on the ground with the exception of Riley's blast. 4 ground ball outs for Smyly.
Look, he had moments last year, like you said, that little stretch where he was pretty darn good. Gave the Braves a chance every time out. Doesn't really go deep into games. You know, usually more of a 5-inning type guy, as you see his repertoire there with the curve more than anything. But his issue was the long ball last year. Seemed like every game he was giving 1 or 2 big home runs up.
As you said, 9 homers in his first 19 innings as a Brave. And 1 so far here tonight as he faces Adam Duvall, 3rd hitter of the inning. Adam hopefully a sign that he's starting to see the ball better. He had a 2-hit game. He was part of the Braves' 2-run rally in the 8th inning.
Yeah, most of the damage last night from that bottom of the order, which is definitely a good sign.
Dansby drove in the game tying runs before the Braves fell in extras. And there's that slower than slow breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Duvall swung at a ball in the dirt. Both Atlanta strikeouts have been balls that bounced in front of the plate, and he's got a perfect second. We're tied 1 apiece.
Well, we are tied at 1 as we head to the 3rd, and an exciting night here at Truist Park as Ronald Acuna Jr. makes his return. Of course, he has been chomping at the bit to get back. And the story goes that at 1 a.m. early this morning, he's playing Call of Duty after his 6th rehab game in Gwinnett, and Alex Anthopoulos' name pops up on his phone, so he answers it, and Alex says, hey, are you ready to play tomorrow? Knowing he had a game in Gwinnett, he answers, well, yeah, I'm ready to play. And Alex was like, no. Are you ready to play here, as in Atlanta, tomorrow? And he said, oh, yeah, let's go. I am ready. Guys, you could see grinning from ear to ear when he came into the park today. Went on to answer, of course, a whole bunch of questions this afternoon, but the one I thought was really interesting was, what did he think he may be even better at now in this return, or has he improved? And he said, of course, strengthening his legs throughout this entire rehab process, developing those muscles, he goes, I think I might be even speedier. That's pretty scary to me.
Very scary.
Yeah.
He's a legit 30-30 guy when over the
almost
course of
40-40 a couple of years ago, back in 19.
And I think Kelly brings up a good point. I don't think the Braves were worried at all about the foot speed, the bat speed. They were worried about the ancillary stuff, the full body shape, getting used to baseball activities, right? Last thing you want to see happen is this ball's popped up, and the shift on. That'll be Dansby Swanson to take care of Ortega for the first out. You do all this work to get the lower body straightened out, you get the knee strong, and then you strain an oblique.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I'm so glad that they decided to do this, because we've seen the film, we've seen the video almost every day of him in AAA, and at some point you ask yourself, okay, well, if he's going to be doing that, why not do it here? And I know you want him to get ABs, do what he's got to do down there to get ready, but this team needed a spark. Got a big road trip coming up with 3 in Texas, a team that is struggling bad, and then of course you go to New York for 4. And I like the idea of giving him some games here leading up to that New York trip, where that's not his kind of first game back.
And to your point about a club struggling, look, the Braves tonight are playing their 20th game. They have won 8. And in those previous 19 games, Jeff, this offense, this star-studded offense, has scored 3 runs or fewer in 12 of those 19 games. That's not like a Brian Snitker offense in Atlanta. So that should certainly help, having Ronald back in the fold as Riley handles a 1-hopper. Suzuki is retired on the ground for the 2nd time, 2 away.
Man, this is what Kyle Wright could use right here, Chip. A nice, quick 3rd inning.
He blew away Ian Happ with a high fastball in the 1st inning, the first of his 3 strikeouts. Game tied 1 apiece. We're in the 3rd inning. Braves try to win their first series here in 2022. Now he's got the fastball changeup working. Last inning it was almost exclusively curveballs, because that's the one pitch he could throw for a strike. Now he's starting to get the whole arsenal sharpened up.
Yeah, got the control back.
That ball's an inch closer to the plate. Happ's caught looking.
And Darno's set up on the outside. One of those. It looks a lot worse when you catch the ball, and then when you break it down, it's right in the corner.
So the 1-2 pitch. Skipped the rope. That almost hit him on the foot. Somehow it didn't.
Yeah, I have no idea how that missed Ian Happ.
So we're back even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And late swing off the netting there. Jeff mentioned the next opponent for the Braves, Texas. The Rangers lost today. They're 6-13 on the year. But first things first, got to handle the Cubbies. This one on the ground into the shift. Riley's got it, and his perfect throw gives Wright that easy 1-2-3 inning. Ronald Acuna Jr. is due up third in the third. We're tied at 1. For the best coverage in the game, let's check out our T-Mobile coverage cam. Special moment, the Contreras brothers got to exchange the lineup cards today. That is awesome. William and Wilson. A moment they'll never forget.
You can see Wilson's more all business. Williams happy to be back up.
Yeah, right, Kelly? Big league lifestyle is a whole lot better than AAA, isn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, and what I noticed was how emotional Wilson got there. And I think you guys know I covered him back in 2016 with the Cubs. And in that moment, none of his family could be here from Venezuela. So to now have not only his brother and family members over here, but to have his brother and the bigs with him and get to share that moment, I understand why that was so special for these guys tonight.
Travis Demeritte is the batter and didn't get that. Contreras up because Manny Pena, who's been bothered with some left wrist problems, has some inflammation in the wrist, so he had to go to the injured list. More on that in a second. First, the 1-2 pitch. Broken bat. That's sneaking toward the middle of the diamond. VR off balance throw and a perfect strike to take care of Demeritte. That was a nice play. VR, a seasoned pro, robs Demeritte.
It's a strong throw over there. I thought he might actually be closer to a bang play, but Merritt last night, 3 pretty good balls hit, nothing to show for. Look at the arm strength there. Gets him by 4 or 5 steps.
Manny Pena in that series with the Marlins, you might recall, took a ball off the heel of his glove. Remember that?
Yep.
And it was sore, had to be checked out. That might be the cause of that left wrist discomfort. Hopefully it's not serious. As Dansby Swanson hits, Smiley has set down 5 straight after Riley's 2-out homer in the first inning. If he gets the ball on the ground pitching half the time at Wrigley Field, he's going to have a big year.
Right. But you got to keep the ball down there.
Yeah. Dansby's had a good homestand. 5 hits, 4 RBIs. 2 of them came last night. And out of play. Great catch by a fan from Powder Springs, Georgia. As Dansby digs in, the pitch is lifted to the right side. And we got a great crowd tonight on a Thursday night. I'm going to guess, I'm going to say 34,000. Even.
32 even.
One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a drive headed for the left center field gap. That ball is belted. That ball is gone. First homer of the year for Dansby Swanson. It breaks a 1-1 tie.
107 off the bat. Times that little hit like that going opposite field last night can get you going. Drew Smiley tried to sneak a fastball by him. Leaves it letter high. Dansby needed that. A big hit opposite field last night, and now to get off the home run drought.
20 of the Braves' 22 homers are solos. 2 of them tonight. They're back in front. And here's Ronald. He wants to get in on the fun. Ronald in his season debut grounded out to third in the opening inning. His first game since July 10th of last year.
Well, and I think this is going to be the one thing, the breaking stuff from some of these big league pitchers. You know, Ronald is one of the better talents in all of baseball, but it's not like he had a spring training. You know, he only got so many games, so he's going to do some great things, but he probably will swing at some off-speed stuff too.
Well, you said in a spring training you need 45, 50 at bats. He had 19.
Yeah, and it's like, let's go, and he's not facing these type guys every night either.
1-2 pitch. Well, it's so great for our game to have guys like Acuna back. Look, we know what it means for the Braves. We need to keep guys like him and Trout and Ohtani and Tatis healthy to grow the sport. The 1-2 pitch. And there has to be a certain sense of the unknown for Drew Smyly, because you know, if he makes a mistake,
yeah,
Ronald's going to hit the ball hard somewhere. The pitch. Struck him out at the knees. Perfect pitch. And there is out number 2, third strikeout.
Let's talk about Dansby's swing. We saw that last night, the 2-run single to tie the ball game up. Here he gets a fastball. He seemed to get his foot down, recognize it, and you can see Smyly mad at himself. Starting to see the ball. He's starting to foul him off more. Chip getting deeper in counts. And one thing we said about Dansby the last couple of years, not scared to hit with 2 strikes. Another example.
Olson fouls that at the plate.
Still spinning. Look at him.
That ball came off the bat about 2 feet over Olson's head and then just started spinning.
Look at it. It's cracked. It's not cracked, sorry, but it's
split.
Yes, the leather came off.
We got to get a shot of that. No balls and a strike. Well, they tell you all the time, hit the cover off the ball.
It'll be interesting to see where Smyly starts going. Both home runs on fastballs that he's tried to sneak by.
1 to Riley, 1 to Dansby. Braves 2, Cubs 1. We're in the home third. Let's see if that makes the outside corner more tantalizing for Smyly. Little dribbler toward first, almost hit the bag, and Rivas is there to retire the side. Dansby Swanson on the board, his first homer of the year. The Braves have 2 solo shots so far. That's been enough for Kyle Wright. He enjoys a 2-1 lead in Game 3 at Truist Park.
See those numbers with Kyle. Curveball last season, 14% this season, throwing at 34%. Coming in tonight, opponents, like I said earlier, 3 for 24 off his curveball, all singles.
Well, he had a clean third inning, a 1-2-3 frame. See if he can have another shutdown inning here. Contreras, Villar, and Rivas coming up. And then went in on the hands of the Cubs catcher. No balls and a strike. I thought on that racetrack feature, the 0 barrels is pretty remarkable in this age of exit velocity and high spin rates and such. And I believe that's 95 miles an hour or higher. The home run that he gave up, excuse me, one of the hits he gave up was 94.
To Ortega.
To Ortega to lead the game off. And that is the only Chicago hit. 2 walks and a rundown in the second. Got the game tied for the Cubs. The 0-2 is off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And I was a little low on the barrel rate. It's 98 miles an hour or higher. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rare breaking ball miss there, evens the count. The 2-2. He got him on a check swing.
Now look at this strikeout. Throws everything kind of away, then throws a changeup. Looks like a two-seamer. Tries to hold it up, and that takes us right in to our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Curveball, been his best pitch most of the year. But look at the work, the four-seamer, the changeup, the sinker. You can't really pick a pitch on Kyle Wright. You got to be respectful of all four pitches. And look at those sinkers where they are. Look how far inside that is to righties where they're throwing at the ball. That's how effective he is.
So 4 straight retired, 4 strikeouts. He got Villar earlier, and he's got a comebacker here. Wright kicks it for a moment, but doesn't panic and gets his man by a step for out number 2. Yep, got to close the glove, kid. But no trouble, and Alfonso Rivas is the hitter. This kid's not afraid to swing the bat, is he? Strike 1. Rivas, a California kid. And a Arizona Wildcat on a play left side. And just like that, Wright's ahead 0-2.
2 good fastballs.
Rivas,
late on both of them.
Sorry, Jeff. Rivas, like so many, lost a season of his career in the COVID campaign. He's making up for lost time. Finished last year very strong with a long hitting streak. And now hitting over 400 in his last 12 major league games. Oh-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Kyle Wright is back. 5 strikeouts, 2 perfect innings in a row, and the Braves look to build on the lead. They've hit a couple of homers. Home 4th coming up. Braves 2, Cubs 1 in the wrap-up. The Braves lead on a pair of solo home runs. With that in mind, let's check out our Coors Light beating the pressure feature. Lefty on the mound, Jeff. That has been very, very good news for the Braves offense.
And one of the best in the league. 15 doubles versus left-handers, the most in MLB. Austin Riley's got a hard hit rate of 54% this season versus left-handed pitching coming into this game. And so he added that his first AB.
With his 5th homer, he's in double digits in RBIs now, with 5 and 10 respectively. And he now faces a 1-1 count. Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup tonight has started 0-2. Boy, the ballpark buzzing at his every move tonight. Kyle Wright, after a rough start, has struck out 5 hitters and is through 4 innings with a 1-hitter. And slowest. The Braves just can't wait back on that slow curve at this point. Jeff, 4 strikeouts for Drew and 1 away.
The thing about it is, Chip, you see it out of his hand. You can see the guys see it big, so it makes you want to go out and get the ball. I mean, that's Drew's best pitch. That's his bread and butter, is that curveball. And he's trying to get you to go out and get aggressive. When he throws that fastball, he's just trying to sneak it, you know, by you and get you to see it. It's not really his go-to pitch.
Ozuna the hitter. And this pitching pattern that Smiley is implementing is kind of the way baseball has gone. I think last year was the first time in a long time where more off-speed pitches were thrown than fastballs in our game, which may surprise fans when you figure out and see how many guys can throw 95 or more.
Yep.
But it's certainly been effective for Drew Smiley tonight. Body's on the short end of the decision at the moment. That one is lined into center. Villar's leaping try goes unrewarded, and Ozuna has a one-out single. His 4th hit on the homestand. And a promising start.
Oh, look at that ball, shoe tops, and he just drops a bat head on it. Villar was going to catch this ball just out of his reach.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Had him played too low. And now Ozzie with a man aboard. He rolled out his first time up. Let's see if he can wait back. Can't. Ground ball too short. Second base one. Villar's turn will be way late. Force play erases Ozuna. Who removes the foot guard, and Ozzie trades places with 2 outs.
How many times are you going to see Ozzie facing a left-handed pitcher and roll over twice? Just another one got out in front.
One on, 2 outs for the Braves catcher Travis d'Arnaud. He grounded out. That was to the shortstop Nico Horner. That one's lined into left field. Ozzie will make the turn at second. No advance as Happ got to it quickly. d'Arnaud has a hit. Second of the inning for the Braves. And here's Duvall.
Well, that's the approach against him, Chip. Don't try to do too much. Try to hit singles. And then if he makes that mistake with the fastball like that, you end up hitting a home run. If you try to get too big. Last time up, we saw Duvall really get aggressive and try to go out and get it. This time, you'd love to see him wait back and try to hit that ball up the middle. So even if you do get out in front of it, you saw how Marcell was able to stay back enough to get good wood on it.
I always wonder, and we've asked this question before, but I would think Smiley would be a great candidate to move up in the box against.
Yeah, some guys don't just are set in their ways on where they're at. I think it's a perfect guy that I'm going to face Freddie Garcia all the time. Kevin Seitzer, Braves hitting coach, used to talk sit 80 miles per hour on him. And this kind of would be my approach tonight. Just no 80 miles per hour is coming. And then look, if it's 92, you're quick enough that you can either get a hit or even foul it off to see another pitch. But majority of them are in that 80 range. And then it'll keep you from doing that.
Right. And he's gotten at him to chase just about every ball bouncing in front of the plate right now. It just isn't getting there. And the count even to him, 1 ball, 1 strike. Going to be a little concerned about Duvall's strikeout rate. 27 of them now in 69 at bats. Pitch. And with today's second inning swing and a miss, he's now struck out in 14 straight games.
Well, we laughed, but we saw the cue job he hit last night right at second base, went forever. The shift, they're shifting him so far to the left as second base that he's anything you see to the right, Rivas can't really get to it, so hitting an RBI.
Well, he's worked the count 3-1. Mentioned the in and out struggles of the Braves offense. One reason why 3 for their last 32 are the Braves with a runner in scoring position. No time like the present to improve on those numbers in a hitter's count. Full count. Runners will be moving with 2 down.
Well, you know that same pitch is coming right here. To me, you sell out all day. He's thrown you a bunch of different pitches, but you've swung and missed at 5 of those now tonight.
The runners lead. Smiley checks, and here it is. And he rolled over, but foul. Duvall stays alive 3-2. Smiley's been efficient, 53 pitches to this point. Both starters giving their managers exactly what they wanted after a very long game last night. The Braves used 8 pitchers. Chicago used 6. Atlanta leads 2-1. And again the pitch. High fly ball to left, but Happ will have plenty of room, and he puts the squeeze on that. Braves threaten, can't score in the 4th inning. Lower third for Chicago in the 5th. The Braves lead game 3 2-1. Well, fans, the Delta Club here at Truist Park is newly renovated. The Delta Sky 360 Club is Truist Park's all-inclusive luxury club. It's expanded to include over 8,000 additional square feet. Other updates include 9 chef-curated food stations, 2 private retail shops, and you can be the first to know when seating becomes available by joining the premium priority wait list at braves.com/premium. That is a beautiful place to enjoy the pregame and the postgame.
Absolutely.
As Jason Hayward leads off the Chicago 5th. Hayward, Wisdom, and Horner. Kyle Wright as the barest of leads, 2-1, thanks to 2 Atlanta homers.
Hasn't been able to find the strike zone versus Jason tonight. 7 pitches, 6 balls.
Wind picking up, blowing toward the chop house on a lovely 74-degree night. As the Braves wrap up this homestand, looking for their first series win. That's Wisdom. He struck out looking. Might have been his best fastball of the game there, full count.
Yeah, right at the top of the zone. And a steady diet of fastballs. We'll see if he stays with that or tries to throw that curveball.
Fastball, and Hayward was all over it. That's going to one hop off the right field fence. Acuna comes up ready to throw, and he holds Hayward to a long single. That's something, Jeff, we haven't even talked about tonight. The difference Ronald will make defensively in the outfield.
We've said the defense this year so far for the Braves outfield wise has not been what we've seen in the past. And yes, getting him back will help not just arm strength, but hold runners. And I also think it allows Duvall, if you want, to shade the gap in left center. How many times you can see Jason Hayward hit a ball off a wall and be at first?
Not too often, but it happens here and right back to the stretch. Wisdom struck out. Breaking balls got him in the 2nd inning. A rollover would be nice. So would strike 1. A slower breaking ball. Wisdom couldn't time that. It's 0-2. That is such a gift when you can make 2 or 3 pitches out of one, like Kyle just did. No balls, 2 strikes. I think too, Jeff, this game is indicative of the growth of Kyle Wright. I think it's clear he doesn't have all of his pitches tonight. He's only given up 2 hits.
Yeah, he's been able to, and the run scored was he actually picked the guy off, just could not get the out before the run scored.
No, held it there. He didn't get the call. Pretty good pitch. Quinn Walcott said it was wide, though.
Yeah, I think he caught Wisdom maybe looking for that curveball. So fastball surprised him.
High fly ball left. Demeritte going back. Edge of the track. Wisdom knew he missed it. There's the catch. Hayward's going to tag, and he's going to turn tail and head back toward first. I got to be honest with you. It sounds very loud, but you have to hold your breath when the ball goes.
No, you do, but that ball's up in the air.
Yeah.
That's a pop up. You know, it does sound good and it can get deep, but it's too high.
And the wind blowing left to right knocked it down. So here's Horner. He was the man that was picked off, but stayed in the rundown long enough to bring home Rivas with the Cubs' lone run. A couple of base running mistakes for Nico in this series. Remember, he's playing because Andrelton Simmons is hurt. The former Brave was signed to Chicago's roster, but Andrelton's out with a bum shoulder. To Horner's credit, he swung the bat very well, hitting over 300 for the Cubs in the early going. No balls and a strike. Hayward leads at first. Oh, that got him on the way by, and Horner will take first on a hit batsman.
Man, he almost went. Just to show you, even though he hit him, the movement on that pitch, Chip, the fact that he was another, what, 5-6 inches from going on that pitch.
So the 69th pitch of the game for Wright hits Horner. Hayward led off with the 110-mile-an-hour single, the first barreled ball against Kyle Wright this year. And now Ortega bats with 2 on and 1 out. Ortega's singled and popped out. A changeup from Kyle Wright.
Yeah.
And we have seen Ortega, I believe, swing at the first pitch in all 3 of his at bats in the game. So a nice selection for Kyle. Brave shift for Rafael. Riley, the only defender left side of the infield. And he hits it on the line to Ozzie. Flip back to second, and Hayward wandered too far. He's doubled up. Couple of base running mistakes by the Cubs in this game. That one, though, takes him out of a chance to tie the game. A double play. Home 5th coming up. Ronald's due 3rd. Braves by a run. Wow, purple sunset here in Atlanta, where Braves baseball is presented by Truist. Good ball game. Kyle Wright's through 5 with the lead. Atlanta's hit a couple of solo home runs, one by Austin Riley, one by Dansby Swanson, as they're leading their former teammate Drew Smyly. You can honor the historic 2021 championship year with a special World Series jewelry and commemorative keepsake from the Braves fan collection. Shop the men's and women's collections with pieces starting as low as $29. Hey, Mother's Day is coming up. You can always surprise mom with a great bauble too. See the full collection at Jostens.com. On the ground, deep short, off the glove of Horner, and Demeritte's got a base hit, stumbles around first, and he'll slam on the brakes to start the 5th inning.
Now, Travis had to be thinking, if he makes that play and throws me out across, turns on a first pitch.
Find a rooster, right? Like
yeah, absolutely. I don't think even if he makes that play cleanly, he's not going to throw him out at first.
But we're seeing signs, Jeff, of what you talked about last night and again tonight. When the Braves offense starts to cook, 7, 8, 9, feed 1, 2, 3. And tonight,
yeah, I mean,
they've got 2 hits.
Yeah, and if you want to be one of the best teams in the league, which they've done, you have to have a complete lineup, 1 through 9. You can't have yourself only available to score 4 or 5 innings a game.
So let's see how Dansby approaches his second look at Drew Smyly. A long home run with 1 out in the 3rd inning. They give him the wide open hole right side here with nobody out. Ball one. Dansby's homer, a no-doubter, into the stands in left center. His first home run of the year. 7 RBIs for him now. And 3 have come in this series. And Smiley knows how the Cubs are defending him. He wants Swanson to pull the ball into that shift. He's missed inside twice.
Yeah, he's laid off 2 cutters in a row, and
here's the homer for Swanson. It broke the tie.
Try to sneak a fastball by him. If there's one thing we've seen over years past, it's tough to sneak a fastball by Dansby, especially when he's starting to get right.
The 2-1. A flinch, but no call. Dansby in the driver's seat, 3-1. I've said it a million times. I firmly believe hits aren't the only measure of when a hitter is seeing the ball well. Their takes say a lot too. That was a good one. And another one. 2 close pitches. Swanson walks, and Smiley in trouble. Not happy with the strike zone. 2 on, nobody out. Acuna's coming up. First day. You got to be your Georgia Natural Gas impact player, don't you?
Absolutely. Why not? And this was the projection last year, Chip. If he would have played a full season, see the OPS, the home runs, stolen bases. It's on pace for 132 runs scored, which would have been a Braves franchise record.
So let me ask you this question. Everybody who loves this team is happy that Ronald is back. Is there a psychological trap of saying the savior has returned, if you will?
No, I don't. Look, I think this team is, you know, the way Snit manages it, they're too smart to know that. I think what this team's going to say is we got a big lift. We got a guy, a spark in this lineup. Now we got to get going and take advantage.
Tommy Hotovy, the pitching coach for the Cubs, walks off as Smiley in a mess. 2 on, nobody out for Acuna, who's 0 for 2. He took strike 3 last time up. Ballpark buzzing, wanting Acuna to return with a bang. Missed a double by a foot. Strike 1. Another menacing presence in this Braves lineup. Ronald Acuna Jr. Another chance for the Braves with runners in scoring position, protecting a 2-1 lead. The pitch. Sharply hit toward Horner. He's going to throw off stride to third, and they'll get the force there. That takes care of Demerit. So Swanson and Ronald are your runners for Matt Olson, and 1 out. Nice play by the Cubs shortstop.
And one of those, if there's not a runner on second, Ronald's got his first hit of the year. Fortunate, was able to take him right to third base and get the easy out.
All right, let's get Matt going again. That's 3 for 22 on the homestand. One of those hits, though, 116 miles an hour off the bat against the Cubs. Loves the first pitch, but not that one downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Both runners go. Olson takes. Contreras bobbles. A double steal. Love that play. First stolen base for Acuna. Swanson has his second, Jeff, and now a fly ball gets you a run.
Love that too. Something you don't see from the Braves too much, but Smiley not really paying attention to Dansby or Ronald. And Ronald just follows Dansby's lead, and now, as you said, a fly ball gets you that extra run. Base hit drives in 2.
And a smart take by Matt. He saw how big the jump was. Smiley to the windup now. And that's body blocked 3-0. Action has begun in the Cubs bullpen. Scott Effross, whom we've seen already. The pitch. 3-0 green light. Infield in. Near collision on the right side. And the peg to first in time. And Matt Olson, a 3-0 count, rolls out into the shift for the second out.
It's one of those, Chip, you get the feeling trying to do too much. Trying to get that big hit in the situation. Matt's kind of kicking himself for that, AB.
So David Ross will go to his bullpen. He wants the righty-righty matchup. Drew Smyly leaves with 2 homers and 2 runners aboard. Effross versus Riley in the 5th next.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by the GMC Sierra Heavy Duty Truck, CarShield. CarShield cars go further. And by the All South Highway Safety Team. Always wear your seatbelt.
Braves hit a couple of homers tonight. How about one more right here with this big crowd at Truist Park? Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup has his first stolen base. And we'll see a man who pitched last night. Scott Effross faced the Braves in the 6th inning. Did not face Austin Riley, who has homered here in Game 3.
A little bit of a sidewinder coming down from a different angle, bringing in for the righty-righty matchup. And imagine with a base open too. Might see him try to get Austin to chase something off the plate.
Winds died down a bit as we approach 9 o'clock. This one hit high in the air to center, but Hayward will have room in front of the Braves bullpen. And Effross cleans up the mess left by Drew Smyly. We're through 5. Glad you're with us across the Southeast. Good game. 2-1 Atlanta.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. The Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Yellowwood. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Hope rewarded with a photo finish in the race with the Freeze. He beat him, Jeff, by that much.
I thought that was Brian McCann running for a second.
That would be no hope. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Truist Park. Buy managed game tickets, unlock offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download, oh boy, Brian, the MLB Ballpark app today.
Lock you up over there.
Oh my goodness. Hope BMAC comes to the ballpark soon. Miss seeing his smiling face.
Got to get off the golf course first.
Yeah, I understand. He's gotten pretty good, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
Kyle Wright's pitching not bad either. 1 run on 2 hits. And he's got the 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Cubs in the 6th inning. Again, with all the bullpen usage of the Braves last night in a 10-inning game, Kyle Wright is doing what a manager loves to see. Take the ball, get a lead, go deep in the game. He's at 72 pitches. A 1 pitch to Suzuki. Paints the inside corner. Had a ball get away on the warning track by the Braves on deck circle, so Quinn Walcott cleans that up. Quinn's had a good strike zone tonight. This whole crew's had a good series.
I think so too. Haven't talked about it much, which is a good thing.
0-2. And pulled foul. Familiar face for Braves fans in the third base coaching box for the Cubs. Pride of Cairo, Georgia.
Willie Harris. Former teammate.
Breaking ball takes care of Suzuki. There he is, out number 1, 6 strikeouts for Wright. And Jeff, for the fans who haven't heard that story, the 6-for-6 game for Willie Harris, one of the great stories in Braves history.
A good curveball to get Suzuki. It really is. There's a bat giveaway night that had been there for a long time. A bat in Ben Acree's office, old traveling secretary for the Braves. And Andrew told Willie, why don't you use that in the game? Willie said, I'll do it and I'll get 6 hits.
On the ground past Olson, Ian Happ jumps on the first pitch with his first hit. 1 on, 1 out.
And Willie says, I'll do it. And Andrew says, you get 6 hits with that thing. As you see here, the flashback, bat giveaway day tells him, I'll get you any watch you want. Well, from my watch guy the next day. I mean, look at that. That was a triple. These aren't just easy ground balls.
I'll give him the 2 extra base hits, but the exit velos on the other 4 weren't exact.
You saw Matty Diaz get down. Yes, it wasn't the velo, but the fact is he took a bat that it's a giveaway bat. So worse would you could possibly do, get 6 hits. The next day, Andrew Jones brings his watch guy, and Willie picks out a watch for $28,000.
Wow.
One of the all-time great stories. I continuously say this. I was talking to Kelly about it the other day, telling her about it. I said, the fact that he just went up to bat with that. You know, it's not like he was Andrew Jones where no matter what, he was playing the next day. Willie was fighting for a job all the time.
Sure.
Well, that bat 6-for-6 kept him up here a long time.
Wilson Contreras down a strike, runner at first in a 1-run game. Runner takes off, big jump, and that is fouled away. So Kelly, did you have a chance to remind Willie of that magical moment as a Brave?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to make sure that Frenchie wasn't embellishing the story too much. So to Willie's credit, he goes, I was struggling a little bit at the plate, as we all do. And then he went on to say pretty much what Jeff just said was the story. But what he took away from that, the lesson is he goes, you know, it's not about the bat. It's all about how you feel. And you're always learning in this game. And that giveaway bat, Frenchie, it felt pretty good. Good enough for your 6 hits.
Hey, the lesson to me is he got a $28,000 watch.
And still has it.
Absolutely.
Still has it.
What a great teammate he was.
He did say, though, that when the jeweler came in, that he didn't want to hurt Andrew too much, so he chose the cheapest one in the box. I guess it's whatever you just said it was. He asked me not to say how much it was, but you've already given that part of the story.
Oh, that's what makes the story so great. and we all told him at the time, make it hurt. Andrew's doing just fine. He'll be okay. Man of his word, though, the next day the jeweler was in there in the locker room.
No balls, 2 strikes for Contreras. 1 on, 1 out, 2-1 Braves lead. Happ leads and is chased back. What happened to the bat? Did he break it?
Kelly did. I think he told Kelly that he's got it had a little splinter in it, but I think it's at his house, he said. You got it. I mean, that's a keepsake right there.
No kidding. Just to get 6 hits in the major leagues, period.
In a game,
6
absolutely.
in 1 game. Also had 6 RBIs with that bat, says Hal Galima.
Jeez,
that's a day.
On a bat giveaway day.
No balls, 2 strikes. I can just see it now. Every single one of you guys goes up to your bat representative and said, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
you sending me bad wood and you're sending the fans good wood?
Yeah. No balls, 2 strikes. I love it when we show those highlights of Braves games gone by. First the pitch downstairs, familiar faces and names in different places. Brian Snitker was the third base coach.
Yep.
That day saw Matt Diaz in one of those highlights bowing down to Willie Harris. Brings back a ton of memories when you see games at Turner Field in the early days, even here at Truist Park. One ball, 2 strikes. Jeff guessed 32,000 for the attendance. I guessed 34. We'll ask the truck to put in their number. We got away from that a little earlier today. But everybody happy with the lead, with the way Wright's pitching, and with Ronald back in the lineup. Big sequence in the game for Wright. 81 pitches and fouled away by Contreras. This is what they did last night. This is what the Cubs do. This is a ball club going through a real offensive transformation. They're not going to hit a ton of home runs. That's not how they're built. They want to move the line, put the ball in play, get into bullpens, hit foul balls to prolong at bats, and boy, they did that in a fantastic way last night. Not as successful tonight, but they're only down a run despite only having 3 hits. Pitch, double play ball. Ozzie gets back to the bag. There's the turn, and got him on a bang bang play. Let's see if the Cubs challenge this at first. The Braves beginning to walk off. They get the force at second. Was Contreras out at first? Let's see.
Oh, this one's going to be overcalled. Yep. Wow, by a lot. Dansby was kind of in that in-between where the long hop compared to the throw.
At first base. Hello, New York.
So the Cubs are challenging the out call at first base. From our angle, I think this will be a quick overturn. Contreras did beat the play, and that will continue the Cubs' 6th inning. Yeah, this one pretty clear.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner is safe. Chicago will retain their challenge.
That's new this year for just catching your first Braves game on TV tonight. The crew chief will make the announcement as to what's being challenged and what the verdict from New York is. That helps the fans understand what's going on. Helps us too in case there's a play where more than one thing could be challenged by one team or the other. With that, a clear overturn. They get it right. Contreras aboard, 2 outs, and Jonathan Villar the batter. He struck out and bounced back to the mound. Now throwing a few more changeups this time through the order. That one a beauty. Strike 1.
And 3rd time through, trying to mix it up a little more. Backed it up with another one. Only at 85 pitches too, Chip. So if he's able to get out of this, you might see him come back out for that 7th, or at least to start it.
With the bottom part of the Cubs order scheduled to hit. So he's way ahead 0-2 after a couple of changeups, and then he blows a fastball right on by. Kyle Wright has struck out 7 men. And boy, he's chewing up the middle of opposing batting orders. He preserves the lead. And in the Atlanta 6th, their hearts coming up. Ozuna, Albies, and d'Arnaud. It's 2-1 Braves. Series. Big crowd at Truist Park, as you see on our Xfinity live look cam. Kelly Kroll, Jeff Francoeur, Chip Carey. We're wrapping up the homestand with a well-pitched game. Braves lead the Cubs thanks to 2 solo homers. As Efros back out there to face Ozuna. I was only 183 off. For the record, 34,183 tonight.
I think Beth Marshall texted you and told you.
Beth has much more important stuff to do. 1 ball, 1 strike. I wonder what the walk-up was tonight. And the announcement that Acuna was going to be activated came
I'm
mid-morning.
Sure quite a few people decided to mosey their way on down here.
Braves have drawn exceptionally well, as you'd expect in the early going. Right at 480,000 fans through 13 home dates, and school's not out yet.
No, I mean, can you remember midweek games getting these kind of crowds? The Marlins in for a weekend this past weekend, 120 for the 3 games.
Ozuna has a hit in 2 tries and takes that off the plate. Ball 3. Braves have a great promotional schedule for these in-week games as well. Hope you'll take a look at that on Braves.com. All the great giveaways. Got another couple replica ring giveaways coming up in the month of May. As this one's popped up shallow right. Long run Rivas. He makes a great over the shoulder grab.
Wow. I didn't think he had any chance at that ball. I thought for sure it was going to land right between them. Great play.
Suzuki had a long way to go, but he had no chance as Rivas breaks out his Mark Grace impersonation with a fantastic grab with the right hand. That says it all, doesn't it?
Well, and without, we assume, Matzik and Jansen down tonight, be nice to get a couple more runs here and give the bullpen a little breathing room.
As he turns around and bats left-handed after an 0 for 2 night against Drew Smyly. Ozzie was the Braves leadoff hitter in Acuna's absence. Now he's in a run-producing spot. And hits with the bases empty here. And that one smacked into the right field corner. Did he keep it fair? He could not. Nice catch.
You know, I'll be interested as it goes on too. With a right-handed pitcher, love the idea of Ozzie hitting 5th. You wonder if they tinkered at all with the lefty on the mound, putting Ronald 1 and Ozzie 2 to assure Chip that there's a good chance he might get 3 ABs against the lefty, and then just move the other guys down.
1-1 pitch. Yeah, because the thought process was, look, you hit Olson behind whoever's hitting first.
Yeah.
And then the bottom of the order feeds him. But here we are, game 20. This is not a knock on Matt. He's got 6 RBIs.
He hasn't had a lot of opportunity.
That's the point. So maybe put another guy in front of him.
And I think just from a left-hand standpoint, I want Ozzie getting 3 ABs against a left-handed pitcher if he can.
One ball, 2 strikes for Ozzie. Darno on deck.
And if you put him second with Matt Olson up next, you might keep that lefty in to face Olson before, because if you go to a righty with Riley and Ozuna, he's definitely.
Albies reached for that and didn't get it. He struck out. Something else too. Do you want Matt Olson taking fastballs to let Ronald Acuna Jr. try to steal a base, or do you want him turning that loose? Is Ozzie better suited for that role, or Dansby Swanson or someone else instead of Olson, who you want to drive the ball out of the ballpark?
The good news is there are a lot of different ways you can do it.
Darno 1 for 2. 3rd hit of the series. And then missed inside, 1-0.
Heads up.
Little number back toward the mound. Efros scrambles and sidewinders that ball to first. And he has set down 4 straight Braves hitters. To the 7th we go.
Kyle Wright, 1 run through 6 innings so far tonight, as he's our Zaxby's indescribably good play. Had that 1 inning in the 2nd inning where he lost a little bit of control. Other than that, he has had all the pitches working tonight. There's that curveball that we've continued to talk about. Another one there to get Suzuki and then climbs the ladder. Right there, he's been outstanding, and I love this. We saw last time Brian Snitker go out there, talk to him with the bases loaded, Chip, give him a chance to get through another inning. Now he's at 86 pitches, 6 innings. Hey, now you're going out for the 7th. Keep challenging him.
So, Kelly, I know you talked with Rick Kranitz, the Braves pitching coach, about the maturation of Kyle Wright. What did he have to say about his last outing?
You know, it was interesting. He kind of echoed what we've been hearing about the biggest difference. And he said, you know, he believes as far as Kyle Wright goes, you never really know when or what it's going to be, that one defining moment where everything clicks. But obviously the World Series, him coming in and doing what he did last year helped. And he saw a completely different guy in spring training this year, more confident. He's attacking, like you said earlier, Chip. And he goes, I love it. And quite frankly, he goes, what we did, we tried to really tailor him after Charlie. And he said, we're even calling him Charlie Jr. right now. With the breaking ball, he's throwing more changeup, throws a few more two-seamers. But, you know, when it really comes to the mix, that's what he's talking about right there. And I know last night, not exactly indicative of the Charlie Morton we're used to seeing, but they think Kyle Wright can really sort of emulate that. And he goes even to the journey that Charlie had, right, guys? Like, Charlie had his moments throughout his career where good years, some not so great years. And I mean, Kyle knows now, sort of after last season, what it can turn into now for him this year.
When I agree, I think that power curveball that you see from Charlie now, Kyle is starting to kind of throw that same pitch off that sinker fastball up.
Automatic strike to Alfonso Rivas, who's got a 3-1 count. There is action in the Braves bullpen. Darren O'Day is getting loose. Wright has struck out 7 ground ball outs. He has walked 3 batters and hit 1. And he just walked the leadoff man in a 1-run game to start inning number 7. So some pondering for Brian Snitker and Rick Kranitz here, with Jason Hayward coming up. Hayward's walked and he has singled. Hayward's hit a bullet to right, the first barreled ball off Kyle Wright this year. Great play by Acuna to keep him at first base. Hayward got to second and was doubled off on a line drive.
And the one guy tonight that Kyle's been behind both times, walked him the first time, 3-1, so had to come at him with the fastball here. See if he can get ahead and then go to work with some of that off-speed stuff.
Started him off speed. Back to the mound, chance for 2. There's 1. Great toe tap by Dansby.
Just what the doctor ordered, a little 1-6-3. Look how fast, Chip, he gets rid of this ball. Bam, turns around, gives it to Dansby right away, makes a perfect throw. Double up a guy in Hayward that is fast.
And we talked about this with Paul Bird. Kyle Wright made that play look easier than it was. Catches the ball, spins on the slope of the mound, didn't throw it into center field. And good work by Dansby to make the catch, touch the bag, and get the double play.
Well, at the time I was thinking that could be his last hitter with the righty with Darren O'Day up, and now you give yourself a chance to finish the 7th inning.
But beware Patrick Wisdom. And Kyle's had him in between, it seems, Jeff, all night. He's been late on the fastball and that hook.
He went the first time through, a lot of fastballs, and then last time we saw him start off with 2 curveballs.
Hope you'll stick around for the stretch. It's presented as always by our friends at Georgia Natural Gas. Good to have Trevor, Nick, and Peter Moylan on the set. It's Ronald Acuna Jr. Day, and so far it's been a happy one. Braves lead 2-1. They'll talk about his return, what that's meant to tonight's game, what it will mean for the Braves going forward. That's after Kyle gets out of this 7th inning. And he just did. What a way to finish. Kyle Wright, 8 strikeouts through 7 innings. He leads by a run. What a performance for the kid right-hander. Time to stretch.
The Stretch is brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. Live the greener life.
Welcome into the Stretch, presented by Georgia Natural Gas. Trevor Scales, Nick Green, Peter Moreland here with you outside in the Battery, and it was naturally a highly anticipated return for one Ronald Acuna Jr. His first major league action, and let me check my notes here, 292 days. How do we think it went, fellas?
You know, I'm just excited to see him on the field and healthy. He's excited. I mean, when you're playing Call of Duty at 1 o'clock in the morning,
you don't expect
and you get the call, and they want you back in the big leagues, you get excited about that. I drive to the ballpark, I saw a billboard about Acuna coming back. I tried to drive here as fast as I could, but again, we have to temper expectations. He's going to make a huge difference. That play right there was big in the outfield, but I think all the base hits, all the excitement is still to come, Peter.
292 odd days, long days, but I tell you what, he's back. He's lengthened the lineup. He's added speed. He's added explosiveness to us. He's given us a whole new look, and he's going to lead us to victory of this series.
Sounds like he lived up to it. Shouts to Ronald. He's due up actually in the bottom of the 7th frame. We'll get you out there for more Braves baseball after a quick word from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
Ready to play ball with a new gas company? Georgia Natural Gas knocks it out of the park with simple service and great rates. And when it comes to helping the environment, GNG's Greener Life program makes it as easy as paying your gas bill. Sign up with a home team today at GNG.com.
Guys, thank you very much. Great job with the Stretch. Atlanta leads by a 2-1 score. Duvall, Tameret, and Dansby are coming up. A little insurance wouldn't hurt. And as the Cubs get set to face that lower third, let's enjoy a quick message from Racetrack.
Fuel up like the Freeze does with whatever gets you going at Racetrack.
Adams 0 for 2 tonight. Let's see if he can change that here.
He's been getting these righties out, so David Ross sticking with this matchup.
F. Ross is a slider machine. 15 pitches, 9 strikes. He's retired 4 in a row. He got Ozzie Albies to swing and miss. Braves have 5 hits, 2 solo homers. Has been enough to this point.
Well, Dansby got his first home run tonight. Be nice to see Duvall pop one and get on the scoreboard.
Shoot it toward right. That's the way the wind's blowing tonight. And that's nowhere near. 2-2 your count. Braves are hitting their share of homers. They just haven't had many men on base. That's going to change soon, we hope. A very well pitched game 3 of this series. Here it is. Won't see the Cubs again until mid-June, the 17th, 18th, and 19th, when we'll see David Ross's gang at Wrigley Field. Swing and a high fly ball to left. Happ broke in, now drifts back. The wind's going to push that into his glove for out number 1. Base is empty for Travis Demeritte. Here's a quick message from Delta.
Delta, proud to be the official airline of the 2021 World Champion Atlanta Braves.
Travis is 1 for 2. A memorable homestand for him. Lovely fan in the front row the other night said, hey, hit a home run. Travis said, well, I don't know. I need to pick up a few hits first. She said, I believe in you. Bang. Next pitch, hits a homer to right. And as he crosses home plate, big beaming smile on his face, walks over, gives her the double high five.
Made a heck of a catch in the 4th inning that game,
yes,
too.
Yes, he did. Pride of Winder, Georgia. Between Atlanta and Athens. No balls and a strike. And fouled away 0-2. The Cubs in the 8th inning will have their 9-1-2 hitters coming up. A.J. Minter is warming up in the Braves bullpen. It's our guess that Matzik and Jansen are down tonight.
I think you're going to see Minter in the 8th and Smith in the 9th.
0-2. And Demeritte didn't get that slider, and that's 2 strikeouts for Effross. Here's Dansby. Good night for him. Both defensively and at the plate. He's homered, he's walked, and he's stolen a base. His homer broke the tie, and that's where we are, 2-1. There are many things to like about Dansby Swanson, even on days where he has what every hitter will have, a struggling day in the batter's box. He's been good as gold defensively, and this is such a great sign, Jeff. Taking what the defense gives him, he's got a 2-hit game.
Well, you got a guy, sidearm pitcher, who's getting a lot of, out front swings. He stays out back on this and just shoots it to right field. You start seeing those swings. Like I said, it's about to get hot for Dansby.
And the glove has stayed hot. Just 2 errors for Swanson in his last 60 games.
That's one thing I think we can say over the years. Even when he has struggled at the plate and got frustrated, we've never seen him take it out to shortstop.
Well, Acuna the hitter in the 7th. Ronald's 0 for 3, reached on a forced play and stole a base. This a unique challenge. Again, that unorthodox delivery by Effross. Let's see how he hangs in.
Also see if Dansby maybe tries to take off here and get in scoring position on one of the first couple pitches.
That huge hole is there for Ronald if he wants to fill it. The pitch. He did, and it's looped into right field. That'll drop in front of Suzuki. Dansby around second, chugging for third. He's going to make it on a slide, and Acuna's back with his first hit since July.
Well, another guy. They've been trying to pull the ball some, and you see the last 2. This is how you have success. You get a ball off the plate and you see Ronald. Talk about Ronald having so much power, but we've seen over the years can hit the ball to right field as good as any leadoff hitter. And good job by Dansby getting to third.
He had to hold on for dear life. And Ronald Acuna Jr. with a big smile has his first hit since his return from knee surgery. Effross a nice job, but some 2-out trouble in the 7th. Matt Olson the hitter. The Braves could use some insurance, leading 2-1.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Landmark Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Xfinity, supercharge your home with supersonic Wi-Fi, unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity, and by Georgia Natural Gas. Live the greener life.
Big smile for Ronald Acuna Jr. as we welcome you back to Atlanta. Ronald's back, so are the Braves, enjoying a 2-1 lead before a crowd of over 34,000. Chris Martin is the new pitcher. Matt Olson will face him as we continue on here in the 7th inning. As Martin warms up on a chilly night, let's enjoy a quick message from Truist.
Jessica was born to care.
That's my best friend. She don't need no. Miss Hogan's class? It's Atlantis.
Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care.
2-hit night for Swanson, who's reached base 3 times. Acuna's been on twice. And now Martin, who came to town, got his World Series ring here the other night, is on in a big spot. 1st and 3rd for Matt Olson.
The main reason he's on is that good splitter of his to try to get Matt to roll over. An occasional fastball cutter. Threw a perfect inning last night.
2 groundouts and a strikeout for the Braves first baseman tonight. All would be forgiven with an opposite field hit here. With 2 outs. Ball 1.
Yeah, Smiley kind of had him off balance all night. So for Matt, probably likes the idea of seeing someone else out on the mound right now.
Nico Horner's the man playing the rover spot in shallow right in front of Suzuki. 1 ball, no strikes. Ronald's running, huge jump. That's inside. Takes away the force play. 2nd steal for Acuna, Jeff, and no sign of any knee problems. He is flying tonight.
And I think they're going to go ahead and put Matt Olson on here. And Ronald trying to show, look, I'm healthy, I'm ready to roll. And yeah, now they walk Olson.
So we'll see if this works out for the Braves' favor. They had the lefty-righty advantage in Olson in the batter's box. But now you face Austin Riley, who's homered tonight, and you have 3 aboard.
Look, anytime you want to walk Matt to get to Austin Riley, I think the way he's swinging it, they have no problem with that.
So no place to put Riley. Cubs come out of their shift. 3 defenders left side of the infield. And a sweeping slider has him behind 0-1. Hard part about that steal. First the pitch with 2 outs. Olson versus Chris Martin, 2 for 3 with a homer. So Acuna moves up to 2nd. They walk Matt to load him up. And now Riley has a 1-1 count. Big gap in left center. A lot of room down the left field line. And some space between Rivas and Villar at 2nd. Martin ready. And his 1-1 pitch. Little chopper hit toward 3rd. Step on the bag by Wisdom, and the Braves are out of the inning. So Atlanta loads them up in the 7th. Can't add to the lead. 9-1-2 coming up. We go to the 8th. Braves by a run. Season, let's enjoy our on-field coverage presented by Liberty Mutual.
You see Dansby and Adam Duvall, 2 of the better defensive players in all of baseball. The outs above average, Chip. How you determine is how far the fielder has to go to reach the ball, and then how much time he has to get there. And that is for the outfield only. Then to the infield, you also got how far he is from the base the runner's heading to. And on first place, how fast the batter is on average. And Adam Duvall gets, according to StatCast, gets the best jump of any outfield player in the NL.
There's a lot to digest there. The StatCast metrics and the defensive measurements and evaluations and valuations of players, Jeff, so much more sophisticated now than they were when you played.
I got a crash course on it this afternoon. So if any of the fans want to meet us in Texas, I can sit you down and give you a crash course.
So Adam Duvall and Dansby Swanson.
Yep.
Highest outs above average. Amazing. No errors for Swanson this season.
And Duvall's, to break it down a little more, his jump, you do it by the feet covered in the correct direction versus the MLB average, the average outfielder.
Nico Hoerner got jammed and pops this up to the right side. That'll be easy for Ozzie. 1 out.
And in the first 3 seconds of a player's jump, going for the play, Duvall is 4.1 feet above the average outfielder. So impressive.
I gotta tell you, man, I never knew you were a calculus major.
I do excel in math. My mom was a math teacher. Everything else was a little iffy.
Who got better grades, you or Olsen, in math?
I don't know. It's a good question.
We're going to find that out. Frank Schwindel is going to pinch it for Ortega. How did you guys evaluate outfield play when you were in your heyday with the Braves? Had metrics come in?
It was just starting. You know, they had some of that. So much different, though. I mean, there was no cards. There was, you know, you kind of, as an outfielder, you kind of watched where Andrew went in center field.
And got out of the way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But it's fascinating to think about the line that you said, you know, the correct angle or the correct route. I mean, that's a computer generated algorithm, right?
Yeah.
And then a player's route is measured against that to determine the efficiency with which he gets to the baseball. Swing and a miss by Schwindel.
I think the one thing I would have loved to seen back when I played more, and you saw Nick Markakis his last few years do really a great job in the outfield, you know, more than even when he was in his prime. Played a little bit deeper. I played, I think, pretty shallow, and when you look over and you see where Andrew's playing,
right,
he was so shallow, but he could do it. He could go back and get it. I wish I would have played a little bit deeper. But it was so hard because, like, with Huddy on the mound and then breaking bats and getting jam jobs. But then Huddy used to say all the time, you know, to me in the outfield, I'd rather have you play shallow and get those broken bat singles. And if he smokes one over your head, it's on me.
But I wonder if a lot of that is taken out of the game now because of what the metrics say and because of the styles that outfielders are asked to play. As this ball's on the ground, Dansby to his left, 360 spin, and look at that perfect throw. 2 out.
He got to the intercept point there.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And what I really like about the StatCast, when we can illustrate it for you, if you ever have a chance to go down and stand on a major league field, and if you get to the outfield, you look out, you say, how in the world can 3 guys cover this much ground? When you see the ball hit and you see the route illustrated with that glowing red or yellow line and how close that route the Gold Glove outfielders are, more times than not, it really is a sight to behold.
Well, and with the defense now, yes, they have those cards, but you'll hear Ron Washington tell his infielders all the time, if you see something with your eyes, trust that too. You can move. It's not like you're, you know, have to be in that exact spot.
And so much of it's predicated on what the pitcher does.
Well, and I think that's the big thing too. If I got a guy that's hitting spots up there, yeah, let's play exactly where this card says, because there's a good chance the ball's going there. But when you miss your spot by 3 or 4 feet, then it's another story.
Minter's hitting his spots. 9 pitches, 2 outs, 7 strikes for Seiya Suzuki, who's out in front. Boy, the Braves have fed him a steady diet of sliders and off-speed stuff. He's had a few shining moments, but a few rough turns at the dish. A couple of double plays, handful of strikeouts.
Get a strike here and end it. I've talked way too much about math for me this inning.
0-2 pitch is outside. For Seiya Suzuki, a budding star in Chicago. Riley hugging the line at third with a 1-run lead. Late the pitch. Struck him out, spun him around. A.J. Minter, a 1-2-3-8. The night shift in action late. Braves lead by a run. Let's get some insurance, fellas. Time for an Xfinity game break. Let's head down to the Lone Star State, deep in the heart of Texas. In Arlington, the home of the Texas Rangers. That's Kyle Tucker of the Astros. A shot right down the right field line for a home run. Astros at last count were leading 3-2, and that's where they stand as a final. And we will be in Texas tomorrow night. The Braves team has been there before. Remember, that's where the playoff bubble was in 2020. We will have all 3 games of the Braves-Rangers series here on Bally Sports. Ian Anderson goes to the mound against Garrett Richards, who will be an opener. Guess what it is, Jeff?
The Friday Night Showdown.
Yes, indeed. Presented by Kaiser Permanente. Love the Friday Night Showdown.
Gotta love it.
Cubs bullpen has been very good. This is Ethan Roberts, his 8th game. Cubs bullpen last 9 games, a 1.59 ERA, a 1.88 opponent's batting average. So a tough assignment for the Atlanta Bats here with Ozuna starting things off. 2-1 Braves. And Roberts almost splattered Ozuna. Ball 1. Roberts struck out a career high 3 hitters. Did this get Ozuna on the way by?
It's tough to tell.
Marcel needs a bigger shirt.
A little baggier.
Then he'd be at first base. 1 ball, no strikes. Good breaking ball.
Line for Chris Martin, 1/3 of an inning.
So Smiley, Effross, Martin, and Roberts for Chicago.
Intentional, 1 strikeout.
This has been a real entertaining series. Real good pitching, both teams. One ball, 1 strike. A little number down the third baseline is foul, and Marcel down to his last strike. Ron Washington. Hope it's a happy homecoming for Wash back in Arlington, Texas. You played for Ron as the skipper of the Rangers.
No, he's beloved there. Love having Wash back in town.
2-time American League champion, manager of the Rangers. We spent a ton of money this offseason. We'll talk about that tomorrow night. 1-2 pitch. Line driving to right. Boy, I love this approach the Braves are taking in these late innings, Jeff. Hopefully that's a sign of really good things to come.
Well, just these guys are so strong. They can hit the ball out that other way. But again, I've said it the last week or so. This is what Marcell Ozuna did when he almost won the Triple Crown in 2020. Got 2 strikes, and he would just serve the ball to right field.
Swanson an opposite field hit. Acuna's hit opposite field. Now Ozuna. All in the last inning plus for the Braves. Ozzie chance to chase Marcell around. A lot of room up the middle for him if he can poke one that way. The pitch. Out in front, strike 1. Kyle Wright started for the Braves, a career high 7-inning performance. 3 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts, 97 pitches. A.J. Minter a 1-2-3 1/8. Looks like Will Smith is getting ready for the 9th inning with the 3, 4, 5 hitters scheduled for the Cubs. Nothing wrong with Kenley Jansen or with Tyler Matzek, Jeff, but as you said, workload.
Yeah, I mean, this early in the season, you're not going to use those guys 3 straight days. Especially not with the shortened spring training and them building up still.
And it still is, I don't want to say a dicey proposition, but workload management for this pitching staff is going to be important. You've got this series with the Cubs, 3 in Texas, 4 games in 3 days with the Mets. Coming up, that's on the ground, off the glove of Rivas. The deflection to second. Johnny on the spot was Nico Horner, who is in the shift. That's a productive out, at least for Ozzie. Ozuna to second base on the 3-6-3 kick save play at first.
Yeah, what a break to be right there.
3-6-3 on the putout.
Ball must have had some spin on it or something, because the way Rivas was going, he thought the ball was a lot closer to the line than it was. I think that's why it's big for Kyle Wright to give 7 innings tonight. Hopefully we're using 2 guys in the pen and that's it.
Yep, after using 8 guys in total last night. So d'Arnaud loving life at home, a chance to provide insurance. That ball smacked to center. Hayward on his horse. That's over his head. That's off the base of the wall. d'Arnaud ambushed him. It's a 3-1 game. And Jeff, that illustrates your point about outfield play perfectly. If it's over the outfielder's head, that's on the pitcher.
And that ball, you could see Jason Hayward literally knew that ball was hit on a button. He turned and took off. Beautiful double. Look at that swing. Get a hanging curveball. And Travis stays within himself so well. That thing, I mean, that's a bullet off the center field wall. And a huge insurance run.
So don't stop there. Adam Duvall, the batter. d'Arnaud has 8 RBIs now, a 2-hit game for him. Duvall is 0 for 3. He's flat out twice.
.106 off the bat for Travis d'Arnaud.
One ball, no strikes. The Braves are trying to earn their 9th win.
And the first series win.
Yep.
Which was one of my forward keys.
They've been very good this entire homestand.
I feel like so far the keys have been solid.
2 balls, no strikes. Right on by 2-1. For the record, during the commercial break, Jeff's mom did text him and say that not only was he a very good math student, but she was a very good math teacher.
Exactly. And she said me and Matt were about the same.
About the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, which means he was probably smarter. Mom always favors you usually a little bit, but unless my dad's there telling him too.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch evens up the count, 2-2. I wonder if Contreras was crossed up. Either that or he took a little punishment on that pitch to Duvall. I think it was the old cross up. And as they chat, let's enjoy a quick message from Zaxby's.
It's the new Signature Club with bacon and cheese, remixed by Zaxby's.
Single, ground out, double plates the 3rd Atlanta run. 9 hits for the Bravos tonight. And now Duvall, a 3-2 count.
He hasn't got him to chase off that slider at all, and cutter's been the pitch at 94 that he's gotten. Duvall's now 3-2. I would think he's coming back with that pitch.
High, towering fly ball deep left center. Hayward back, half the wall. It's gone. What a satisfying trip around the bases that must be, Jeff, for Adam Duvall.
Was late on 2 cutters, Chip. He was thinking the same thing. 3-2. That's the pitch he's controlled. Throws a cutter. And Adam Duvall center cuts this one. Left center seats. Now Duvall and Swanson both off the snide, first home runs.
A 3-run eighth for the Braves. It's now a 5-1 score.
When you hope this is a sign of these bats getting ready to break out on this road trip, important road trip.
And how about this too? A homer with a man on base.
Yeah.
Just the 4th such homer this year for the Braves, but a big one here is Demerit with a hit in 3 tries. That was another happy intercept point.
Yes. That ball was high. Had 6.7 hang time on it.
It's like when Ray Guy used to punt for the Oakland Raiders, right?
Ball stay up there forever.
One ball, one strike. That shot the other way. Inside out swing and a multi-hit game for Travis.
Everybody knows that fans want to see Ronald one more time, so you got to get on base there. Slider that time instead of the cutter, and got it off the end of the bat a little bit. But again, when they're going to play that shift, Chip, and Rivas is really the only guy on that side of the infield, you give yourself a great opportunity to just get a free base hit.
Tommy Hotovy, the Cubs pitching coach, out for another visit. A 3-run inning on 4 Braves hits. Now the lead too big for a save. It's a 5-1 score, but Will Smith was up, getting hot. Figure we'll see him here.
Yeah, Will's the type of guy, if I had to guess, Chip, saying, I want to come in.
Did you see that? I just read Adam Duvall's lips. He was looking at where that ball landed. He just said that was 110 off the bat, and it was in the first row of the bleachers, and he said that's a joke. This is what we're talking about. Balls are getting crushed that aren't traveling as far as this generation of players is used to.
Agreed. With that being said, that ball was really, really high. It's not like it was a line shot. Look at the ball Dansby hit tonight. Those balls, Riley, they got out of here really easy.
Great night for Swanson. After a big 8th inning last night, he's come out with his hitting shoes on. 3 hits in 3 at bats. He's also walked, so he's reached base in his last 4 times in the batter's box. So he's homered for the first time. Duvall's homered. Austin Riley has homered. And the Braves have double-digit hits with 11. And are 3 outs away from their first series win. There is action in the Cubs bullpen, and it's former Brave Sean Newcomb who's getting ready. And a strike. Don't know if we'll see Sean in this series. Maybe we'll see him in June. I'm happy for him. It just wasn't going to work here.
Need to change of scenery.
Yeah. So he'll get a chance in Chicago.
Even Snit said that. He said
Yeah.
it just wasn't working.
One ball, one strike. Demerit a good lead. Contreras snap throw first. That's into right field. Demerit's going to scamper to second. So a throwing error for Contreras. And now Travis in scoring position.
It's actually a pretty good idea because Merritt had got pretty far off the base, but short hop throw by Contreras.
E2 throwing error for Demerit to take second.
So again, a lot of room for Dansby between first and second. He's ahead in the count. 2 balls and a strike. Took a shot that way and fouled it off. Ian Anderson, Bryce Elder, and a pitcher to be named on Sunday. That's how the Braves rotation will line up against the Texas Rangers in interleague play.
Well, and then you like the fact of doing that. You get the guys you want lined up in New York on Monday.
Yeah, you've got Fried, you've got Morton, you've got Kyle Wright.
For Gotham.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Dansby's takes, Jeff, are a lot better now. He's recognizing, it seems, pitches that are slightly off the plate, not trying to hit everything out of the park.
You can tell. And look, every once in a while, you got no problem. You start feeling good, let it eat. You get in a hitter's count. But what I like is last inning to lead off, just simple base hit to right field. Ends up starting a rally that loads the bases. Didn't get anything out of it, but giving yourself opportunities.
Barring a base running mistake, that means Acuna is going to hit in this inning with the 4 Braves hits. And he's on deck. The pitch, and Dansby swung and missed inside corner, and that is out number 2. That ball had some run to it.
It did. And well, everything's been cutters, and he finally actually threw a 4-seamer.
So Ronald is back with a bang. He's got a 7th inning hit. He's stolen a couple of bases, and he held Jason Hayward to a long single. So a multifaceted return to the lineup for the Braves. Right fielder tonight. We'll see what the plan is for Ronald, how he recovers from this game, if he'll be in the outfield in Texas tomorrow. It's great to have him back. That's a little high. 1 ball, no strikes. Demerit at second. 2 outs. Spencer Strider's gotten up in the Braves bullpen too. The pitch. Almost clipped him on the way by. So, Kelly, what are the plans for Ronald going forward? I know he wants to play every day. Heck, we want to see him play every day.
Sure, of course. And according to Snit, before the game, it was that he would play tonight, he would be off tomorrow, and naturally off on travel days or a day game following a night game. But again, he was also supposed to be playing 9 innings in Gwinnett tonight, you guys. So I'm sure that plan is ever evolving, and they'll just wait to see how he feels tomorrow. But the plan heading into this game was that he would be off tomorrow.
We'll see if that holds true.
I was going to say, a lot easier said than done.
Yep. But that's right. That's kind of the double-edged sword. It's great to have him back, but you have to weigh the immediate benefit versus the long-term risk.
And I get that. With the DH, I just don't totally understand that. You know, you can DH him tomorrow. I mean, that's not a very taxing thing.
Well, it is if you're hitting home runs and triples and running around the bases all night. But your point's well taken. Ball 3 inside.
The thing that you don't want sometimes is, okay, the inconsistencies. If he plays and he doesn't play, then he plays Saturday, Sunday, doesn't play Monday, plays one of the games. Yeah, I got no issue play one game of the doubleheader, but then the dynamic of the lineup changes so much too, and so I think there's got to be some continuity also.
And don't you expect an honest answer from Ronald at this point? How do you feel?
Look, he's what, 24 years old?
I'll say it before you do. I have ties over with him. 3 balls and a strike. Thanks a lot.
Thank God we don't have to see him anymore.
5-1 game. The pitch is whacked foul behind the plate. It's 3-2, and I'm not suggesting that Ronald in any way would be deceitful, because he wants to be out there. He wants to get back. He wants to help this team win. He wants to get his numbers.
100%.
But he's come back, and the Braves offense has awakened with 5 runs against the Cubs, 3 of them in this 8th inning. A 3-homer night for Atlanta. And the payoff pitch from Roberts to Ronald is on the way. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Heated him up with a high fastball, and that will retire the side. Adam Duvall is on the board. A majestic, towering home run. 110 exit velo. Homer with a man on base, and the Braves break the game open in the 8th inning.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, Delta Airlines, keep climbing, and by Truist. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
Terrific night for Atlanta. Acuna's back. The Braves have hit 3 homers, and they need 3 outs to win their first series of the year. And Will Smith is on with the 3-4-5 hitters coming up for Chicago. Will's off to a terrific start.
Yeah, one more run. I think you would have seen Strider come in to start this inning, but still at a 4-run game. I agree with this call. If you're going to bring him in once it gets to a save situation, you might as well let him get a clean inning.
Wonder if we'll see Spencer start on Sunday.
You could. I mean, it's very possible. When does the rosters get trimmed?
That is the 3rd. Excuse me, the 2nd, I beg your pardon, but then you have the double header, so you get to add 1 guy back.
I think they pushed it back.
Did they?
Again, I think so, yeah.
I'm behind on that news. I beg your pardon. 2 balls and a strike for Ian Happ.
Which is surprising. Usually you're my news. That's why I asked you.
2-2. Now that you mention it, you're right, because there was talk about you can only have 14 pitchers, then it's 13 that gets trimmed down. I know that the Braves and Mets will be able to add a player for the upcoming doubleheader in New York. Swing and a miss. Smith off to a good start. 1 away in the 9th inning. Here's Contreras. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Braves relief corps, Jeff, just keeps racking up the strikeouts.
Yeah, good fastball by Will. 5-1 lead. Don't want to put him on, just go after him.
Entering tonight's play, 91 strikeouts in 74 innings for the Pensmen. That'll shut down some rallies as Contreras is out in front of a breaking ball. I think that was a big difference for Will last year. Late in the season, started throwing his fastball more, and it was plenty good enough.
Oh, yeah.
No balls and a strike.
It seemed like last year, a little bit like we talked about Smiley early. It seemed Will would hang 1 pitch, and that pitch was not getting missed early in the season. It seemed like every one that he hung was gone for a home run, but as you said, settled down at 7 for 7 in October when it counted.
One ball, 1 strike. Now 2-1. That was around the plate. 3-1. Marlins won again tonight. Phillies were victorious against Colorado. Three-one pitch. Mile high pop up. Look at that ball shoot into the stratosphere. Dansby gives way to Demerit. 2 outs. Man, oh man, are the balls elevating off big league bats. And now we're an out away from our first series win. And Jonathan Villar stands in the way of that. He's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. was always the goal of a Bobby Cox-led team. Same for Brian Snitker. Win series. You win every series you play without sweeps. You win 108 games.
It's so hard in the big leagues because you see teams that, you know, struggle and you say, God, we got to sweep them. It's so tough because, I mean, it's one pitcher being off, a couple big hits, but agreed. You got to win series. And when you gave 2 or 3 at home to the Marlins and Nats, you needed to bounce back with at least 2 out of 3 against the Cubs, and we're 1 out away from getting that done.
So we're a strike away now as VR skies that out of play to our right. And now this crowd of 34,000 plus hoping to see Smith preserve Kyle Wright's 3rd win. Here it is. One ball, 2 strikes. On the ground, right to Ozzie. He's got it. And the Braves win and win the series. Jeff, one of their best games of the year. Kyle Wright was terrific over 7 innings on a night when they really needed that. 34 strikeouts for Wright in 24 innings this season, and Ronald Acuna Jr.'s lineup returned a successful one.
You had to win in Ronald's return, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. But great job by Kyle Wright. We saw that 2nd inning walk 2 guys, kind of lost control quick, and when he kind of dialed it back in with that curveball after that, give you 7 strong innings. And Mentor, Smith, and the Braves bats, Duvall, Swanson finally get on the board with the home run. So it's a good way to kind of hopefully break out before you head on an important road trip. 3 games against the Rangers, who you should take care of business against, and then against 4 against a different Mets team than we're used to seeing.
A Mets team that was idle today, and so with the win, Atlanta picks up a half game, and they'll be 5 back at 9 and 11 entering play in Texas tomorrow. Partner, great way to wrap up the homestand. Let's get on the bird and head to Arlington.
Why not?
Sounds like a plan. We'll have the Braves and the Rangers and Ian Anderson on the mound for Game 1. Our coverage at 7:30 on Bally Sports Southeast. For Kelly Kroll and Jeff Francoeur and the rest of our great crew, Chip Carey, we thank you for joining us from Atlanta. Braves 5, Cubs 1. We'll wrap it up on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity next.